All right. It is time for the Big Gabe Weekly Grand Finals. And down here in the bottom left, the man who's won this weekly cup more than anybody else. It is, of course, none other than Mouse Esports Hero Marine. Big Gabe, huge Gabe. He's one of the biggest boys out there who a couple years ago was like, oh, I'm retiring as a pro gamer. I'm just going to be a streamer. And he streams this cup every week, and yet he still almost wins it, even though he's like commentating while he's playing. He's an absolute monster, your best player caster. If you're a Terran player wanting to improve, you should absolutely be checking out his channel, twitch.tv, Mouse Hero Marine. Is that it? Mouse Hero Marine? I think maybe it's just Hero Marine these days. I can't quite remember the URL. You'll find it. Just Google Twitch Hero Marine. It'll come up. His opponent, though, up here in the top right, stands in his way. And we were listening to Gabe's stream before this started. And he sounded like he was very respectful and a little afraid. He even mentioned, oh, I need to pick Oxide map 2 so I don't get 3-0'd. I need to pick my best map early. Up here in the top right-hand side, the Italian Stallion. The cheeky young boy who has really just become one of the absolute best players in the world. It is Clash's Reynor. He's going to be opening up with a standard hatch gas pool here on Jagannatha. This is the Zerg map. Now, what's interesting is that Hero Marine didn't veto this. I find that really fascinating because I think he vetoed Submarine then? I'm not 100% sure. It's best of 5, so they only get to veto 1 map each. So what maps weren't in this pool? Lightshade, he said he vetoed, actually. No, that's why. He mentioned Lightshade was the map which he actually said is so hard against Zerg. Too many wide open spaces. So hard to defend his bases against the Zerg. So he said, okay, I got to use my veto on that. We're going to play Jagannatha. And I think he's going into this map with sort of a mindset of like, I know I'm probably going to lose this map. Like, Reynor's pretty favored. I'll fight my heart out, of course. But he really feels that he's at a disadvantage. Now, interestingly, this is a Marine first. So he's done a Barracks Gas Expand, but instead of building a Reaper, he builds a Marine. A Marine builds 14 seconds faster than a Reaper, which means, and it's 50 gas less, which means you can get a factory out really early because you've saved 50 gas, and then your reactor starts nice and early. So that Marine can defend any Overlord, and the factory swaps over. And this is a great choice on a map like Jagannatha because it's such a big map. It's such a big map. Your Reaper takes forever to get over there, and Reynor would be able to defend very easily with his Queens and these early Fallings, which are now coming across the map, but they are going to find a Hellion out of that factory, as well as 3 Marines, and that'll make quick work out of these Zerglings. These Zerglings should not be able to escape. Reynor is going to have to try and split them up and run away from that Hellion. And there we go. Hero Marine. It's already on the tail. You see here, Reynor's trying to spread those Lings out. He's like, okay, let's see if we can at least get some of these Lings away. This one takes one for the team. Twerks in the face of that Hellion, and that does allow those other 2 to escape. Link speed very late this game. That's not going to be finishing until about 4 minutes. So real mineral focused opening, lots and lots of Queens, quick third base, and the Overlord Scout does come through, sees the factory swapping on the reactor, the medevac. This looks a lot like a Hellbat opening. You've got to respect this. A Baneling Nest goes down immediately. Reynor building a couple of extra Zerglings as well. But I think after that's been spotted as Hero Marine, I would really like to see him just drop a 3rd command center and play a really chilled out opening. I guess the one thing I worry about is he maybe going to be a little bit too set on trying to do a mech play from here. For now, it looks like 2 Hellions poking the front. Oh, he catches some Zerglings just before Link Speed finishes. Doesn't want to hunt them down, though. I think he's a little worried about losing those Hellions to a surround. And he's going to send 7 Marines to drop in the main base, do a bit of flexible pressure with that. And it's going to be a Raven Hellion. Okay, I have seen this build before. It's a more modern one. Notice these Hellions go straight home. He doesn't know how many Lings there are, and he wanted to be safe against these Zerglings. 1 SCV goes down. Oh, no big deal. The Zerglings, a lot of Zerglings do fall there. And these Zerglings do push back the Marines, but the Marines are going to be able to tickle some Overlords. They might be able to shuffle onto the high ground. They've got to be careful with those Queens. It's a lot of Queens. Unupgraded Marines ain't going to be able to do much there. And look at that. Get some Marines out. Might be able to pick off a Zergling or 2. Indeed, he does. It's only about 10 Zerglings. There's no Queens in this main base. Ooh, this is actually big damage. You're not really meant to find this much for this. 2 drones going down. A great start here for Hero Marine, and no creep between the main. Those Queens having to waddle off creep a little bit. And I like that choice to just go to the right. I think a lesser player may have tried to dive into the natural. Hero Marine simply pulls back. Ooh, 4 Hellions roll up the ramp. Now, 2 of them get blown up by a couple of Banelings. But, hey, that's a few Banelings that went down, right? Was it? Wait, no Banelings died. Oh. Okay. Oh, no. He loses his Hellions. Oh, that's rough. Maybe it was just one Hellion got killed by a Zergling or two, and the Zergling got roasted. Hellion micro, pretty good there. There is no armory behind this. Third command center is almost finished. Double engineering base there, and the second and third barracks going down actually after double engineering base. So Hero Marine focused a bit more on 2-2 rather than 1-1, and he's actually built a second Raven. What a fascinating opening. He did a double Raven against Yakov, and I was like, is he trolling? What is this? Double Raven auto turret harass is going to come out. I mean, that definitely can get you some value. Those energy units dropping auto turrets in the battles, very tanky, high damage unit, and they give you the detection to clear creep. But these queens coming forward there, not really finding too much else. And as the dust settles, Reynor, he's going to start taking all these extra gas geysers. He's already up on full mineral saturation. He's got that fourth base on the way. And knowing the modern Zerg play, more players will opt for a quick fifth on the other side of the map rather than a macro hatch. I wonder if that's still the norm. We'll keep our eyes on it. For now, Aspire goes down, so it looks like it's going to be Mutiling Bane play. And that's a good way to play against Raven openings. I think these Raven openings really excel against players who don't get mutas out, and they can just keep coming in and dropping auto turrets for minutes on end, and they never really expire because queens are never going to catch them. They're never going to push them out of their territory. Ooh, stim's done. Okay. Decides to just take out the active tumors and pull back. Not the best pick off, not the worst either. Ravens are going to come over here as well. The queens have come over here though, so you've got to be a little wary of everything. Now, double Evo's just started, so keep in mind, massive upgrade advantage for Hero Marine. If you're a Terran fan, you've got to be bloody happy he started his armory on time as well. These upgrades are going to finish in 35 seconds. That finishes in 30 seconds. So he's going to have no downtime on his 2-2 starting. Marine's now stemming forward, and Reynor's up to 78 drones, though. This is where Reynor excels, is he will push his drone count so bloody hard, and he's getting punished for it a little bit. This is a nice move. 9 drones. If he snipes the 4th, Reynor's in huge trouble. And, massive transfuses on the 4th. Lings come around from behind. Reynor saves the hatch. Well done. I did not think he was going to be able to save that. Baneling speed's just kicked in, though, so time's up. Hero Marine's got to get out. Okay, Queen's on the edge there, ready to intercept. But Hero Marine, I mean, he gets a trade. He's got a 4th command center on the way. And it's important that he slowed Reynor down, because I always talk about how Serral in that scenario absolutely would not be caught droning quite so hard after that opening. He'd be a bit heavier on the units. He'd be looking to control, shut down his opponent, and mix units and drones. Reynor's always a player who will try to be a bit greedier and then go much harder into the backstabs. It means you need to make a play here as Hero Marine. But there's Banelings in reserve. Notice the way Reynor's pulling back. He's pulling back. He's going to try to save this hatch. There's still a lot of Marines here. Can he save that hatch? The hatch goes down, and he saves some of these Marines. The Widowmine goes down, as do the Ravens. And can he actually take out some of these mutas? It looks like... Ooh, quite a few mutas going down. Oh, good focus fire by Hero Marine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mutas, I think, fell there. Yeah, 5 mutas went down. His medevacs are in trouble, though. Can he boost these back to the rally? If he can, then I think it's all okay. And indeed, he does. So he's going to be able to maintain position. He's got to worry about that next run by, though. He has not solidified that position. I actually think after sniping the 4th hatch, it's most important for Hero Marine to back off here. He's trying to dictate the fight on the front, but because of this, he's going to lose his whole 3rd mineral line. So great play from Reynor. Sneaks that one in. 19 workers killed. But actually... Hero Marine punishing on the front right now. 1-1 is not done. And Hero Marine is actually taking so many good fights here. Before the 1-1 can catch up, Reynor's going to lose. +1 melee potentially here. A couple of Banelings do go down. Not too many good spreadies from the Widowmines, or against the Widowmines, I should say. More Marines coming in. Banelings are going to... Oh, a quick spready there. But he loses so many Marines there. The Marines on the high ground, not quite able to finish those mutas up. But Hero Marine, he's non-stop right now. He's like, dude, screw this. I got Widowmines here. And he is going to indeed be able to stop that melee. He clicks it. Oh, look at that. Oh, great pull forward on those Zerglings, dragging the Widowmine into his own units. That Widowmine does take out some mutas, though. I think Hero Marine, he's in a good economic position, but his 4th base, a little bit slow to resaturate there. He's only just done it. He's been so busy microing on the front. He pulls home to take a breath, and that's exactly what Reynor needs, because look at Reynor's creep on the left-hand side. In the midst of everything, Reynor did not stop his creep on the left, even while getting punched in the face on the right-hand side. Reynor never forgets to do a little bit of everything at once. Now, of course, he's down 2 upgrades. Or 3 upgrades indeed. +2 attack finished. I didn't even realize that +2 attack finished during all that. No +2 armor, but a double upgrade advantage for Hero Marine. Good Baneling hits. Basically the only thing that will keep him alive in the next 2 minutes. That being said, I guess unit count's not that high. It's just not quite there. He needs the Thor and a few more medevacs, I think, before he does another push. Hero Marine just looking for a little bit of a double drop here, and he's going to find another snipe on that 5th base. The creep is not being respread. A lot of Reynor's queens went down. Doesn't even get a cancel. Ooh, that's rough. Mute is picking off bunkers. That's really nice. You want to have a bunker. Having just a bunker with 3 or 4 Marines, it means if Reynor wants to hit the mineral line, the first few units are going to go down, so he can't just surprise the mineral line with a few Banelings. It means he needs to commit a lot more units to actually find anything. Now, look at that. Mutas are going to pick off a Widow Mine. Well microed. Reynor's doing everything he can to buy himself time. There's a Thor now out, though. But he's picked off quite a few Widow Mines to slow this down, and Reynor's trying to take the left-hand side of the map, saying, you know what? The right-hand side's screwed. I'll slowly respread creep there, but you know what? It's a bit of a bad situation. +2 caraplace, +1 melee on the way, but 3-2 is on the way for Gabe. He's now going to cleave through this creep, and he says, this is the soft spot. I can push right into your natural here. Once again, Mutas are going to be the backstab unit this time around. Marines coming forward, Thors, Marines trying to work their way in. A good pullback from Reynor, but Reynor's on almost pure Baneling. So as long as these Marines spread out well enough, these trades are very bad for Reynor. You need a lot of Zerglings or Mutas or something to kind of capitalize and take good trades, but ooh, look at that. He dives in the main. Hero Marine just a little bit too slow to respond. He's going to stim his rally back to deal with that, which will deal with the Mutas. We'll look at the other side of the map, because those Mutas, I think their damage is done for now. And he's still got a good Marine count on the front. He's still trying to pressure in. And like I said, these Baneling trades, not great. But this army now looking very isolated. If the Mutas can come back on this, Hero Marine's in trouble. Hero Marine needs to pull everything back to the front right now. If he doesn't reinforce this army, oh, okay, those Widow Mines are really going to anchor that position. And look at that. He's going to elevate just a few Marines into that main base. Remember that 3-2 is almost finished. +2 carapace is finished, which is a very important upgrade finishing for Reynor. Ooh, good Baneling hits, but a big Widow Mine hit on the Banes. And these trades, I think, are more and more in the favor of Hero Marine. Right now, 5,000 resources ahead. Unfortunately, he doesn't realize Reynor's taken a base on the left-hand side. It's a very exposed base, and it's one where if he could send even a single drop into that base, I think he wins the game. Oh, Baneling's just got another big Marine hit over here on the right-hand side. They've got to evacuate. And nice little corner position there. This is a scary angle for Reynor to fight. Reynor's trying to hang on as best he can. The Mutas, though, still picking off the reinforce, still being annoying. He's going to find a 5th command center, or at least slow it down. A few Marines do come forward. Mutas are fighting that. The Mutas have +2 attack. They are able to beat small numbers of Marines, picking off units everywhere. Reynor's so bloody active, and look at the way he rolls Banelings in the front to slow down Hero Marine's advance without throwing his whole army away. He knows he can't really jump on the whole army. Oh, he's going to go for it now after clearing out a lot of these units, stimming backwards behind some Widow Mines, but I think Hero Marine may have lost a few too many units right now. This is almost pure Marine. It is off creep. There's a few Marauders coming in, but there's no Mines, no Thors. Okay, if he can keep the Medevacs alive and trade out, Hero Marine's good. He does a giant spready across 2 screens. All the Marauders survive. He doesn't have anything that shoots up. 1 mine, 2 Marines. Push back the Mutas, and his rally should be enough. Remember, 3-2 upgrades versus 1-2 upgrades for Reynor. He's got that big upgrade advantage. The Mutas only have +2, which good upgrades for Mutas, not going to mean they can beat Marines head-to-head. Only 11 Mutas out, next to no Banelings, and he finds this base on the left, realizing that Reynor, a very flexible player, was forced down the other side of the map. Reynor's now trying to expand to the right. He's sending a Zergling run by, splitting into 2 different bases. But I mean, the rally alone deals with that. Banelings are going to try and jump on him. Widow Mines burrow, a hot pickup. A good Widow Mine takes out a whole pack of Zerglings, boosts back to the safety of his rally. And as these units come in, we see that Reynor gets pushed back. The Marine Marauder going to catch a few of those Banelings. The Banelings say, okay, we'll turn and fight. They do get a few decent detonations, but decent, don't think is what Reynor needs. It's a 4-base Zerg up against a 4-base Terran, and the trades have just been too good. Look at that, a 10,000 resources lost advantage for Hero Marine. Reynor just never having the numbers to be able to close in on one of these fights and really finish it off. This is absolutely awesome to see. Reynor, unfortunately, he might just lose his map pick to start off this series. And yeah, Hero Marine's just pushing in. He knows that he's just got the money, he's got the bank, he's securing a 5th base on the left-hand side behind this, and he's just setting up these layers of Widow Mines and retreat. Every time those Banelings think they're about to get a massive detonation, the Marines pull back, and those Mutas, they're doing okay at first, it seems, but then the medevac healing. When you have 15 medevacs healing 15 Marines, the Mutas don't even do damage, dude. Like, these Marines are killing everything. I know this is kind of hard to see what's going on, but even just a handful of Marines now push back the Mutas. That brings the total up to 40 Mutas that died this game. And that is some beautiful trading there from Big Gabe. All right. And we are now going to not that big a map for the Big Gabe. It's his map pick. It's the map he feels very favored on. It is Oxide. Here in the top right, it's Big Gabe. Of course, Gabriel Sagat is Hero Marine's real name. For those who aren't in on the memes, his nickname amongst the players was Big Gabe, which at some point everyone found so entertaining, as he's not the tallest guy, that, yeah, what did we have? Like 2 weeks of just Big Gabe memes on the StarCraft Reddit. It's basically non-stop images of those size comparison charts where it was like the Earth, the Sun, a galaxy, Big Gabe, etc. It was basically the greatest 2 weeks of memes I think I've ever seen on StarCraft Reddit. Every single joke was incredibly simple, but it was fantastic. Now, if there's one player who I would not count out just yet, and that's weird. We've got the Age of Empires soundtrack. Sorry, guys. 1 second. And there we go. If there's one player who I would not actually count out just yet, it's Reynor. I think he can absolutely bring it back here on Oxide. He's representing Clash. He's a young gun. He's a beast. It is Reynor. And I think what we saw in that last game, I was talking about his classic greed. I don't think the opening went fantastic for him. I think it went kind of bad, to be honest. So the balls to go for 80 drones without actually building Banelings first, I was like, you're a crazy person, dude. But that's Reynor. What makes him so dangerous is if you play cautious against Reynor, even if he starts out behind, he can make an epic comeback. He can just be like, yeah, I squeezed those drones out and just tried to defend off the back of my micro. But remember that first push Gabe did, thrust in, he got like 10 worker kills on that 4th base, almost killed it, got it on his 2nd attempt, and it felt like it was almost a cavalier charge, a sort of crazy advance from Hero Marine, but it worked out really well for him, and I actually ended up really liking it. So well done to Hero Marine, who's doing this new style of Marine first Terran vs Zerg, inspired by Beyond. I think was the big player who really popularized it. Maybe people can correct me on that. They'll be like, no, it was Mr. Monkey, 6.1k Terran on the EU ladder. He was doing it, and then he told Clem, and then Clem did it, and then Beyond actually copied Clem. I don't know the backstory. I know I saw Beyond doing this consistently right when he was starting to look incredible in the matchup. And it's really good because it gets your reactor out faster. You still get a very quick factory and a quick starport as well. So things like that Marine drop, I mean, this looks like an identical opening to the previous game so far. Things like that Marine drop, they're fantastic. They really have a lot of power to them. Interestingly, Hero Marine does skip just 2 Marines there to make sure he can squeeze in extra SCVs, get the Hellion started, the Orbital, really prioritizing those things. And this Hellion going to try and chase these Zerglings home. We'll get at least one of them. Notice Hero Marine targeting that weak Zergling, trying to get as much damage done as he could. Queen comes over and says, get away from my babies, and the Hellion does drive back. Medevac once again, and I believe we'll see a tech lab on that factory, because that's for the starport to swap over. So then we'll do the little swapperoo, right? Starport goes tech lab, factory goes reactor, barracks goes off, and probably builds another tech lab, I believe is what it did last game. But a few ways you could follow this up. Ooh, Reynor with nice timing. He's like, yeah, your drop's going to be leaving about now, so I'll come in right at this moment, and I'll get to see exactly what you're doing as the next step. That's beautiful play from Reynor. Comes in from that side angle, sees the swapperoo, and actually sees Cloak start up. So Hero Marine there, starts Cloak, cancels it, starts a Raven, is like, okay, all right, buddy. Marine drop comes across the map. Hero Marine not even bothering to be tricky. And he's just going to push in with those Marines. Gets an Overlord already, which is a nice start. And then he can drop on the douchebag platform if he wants to. There. Chooses not to, doesn't want to take too much damage on the medevac. He's actually looking for the creep tumors. Ooh, yeah, 2 queens. I mean, 8 Marines beat the shit out of 2 queens. Doesn't get the second active tumor, unfortunately, but just chipping away, being annoying. A few extra Hellions come in. A Marine did build out of that tech lab, barracks before the tech lab, so he clears up the Overlord. Third command center, nice and quick. Raven's going to join up to slow down the creep spread. Second Raven again. He seems to really love this double Raven play. Now this time around, rather than quick mutas, it's going to be double Evo chamber. I wonder if Reynor skips out on the mutas entirely this game and goes for more of like a just Massling Bane, you know, straight up to Ultra style. It's an oldie but a goodie, the Massling Bane style. I mean, we've also, of course, with Reynor, I don't know if I've seen him do that in a long time. I feel like it's more likely he'll just go Hydras and then try to get Lurkers out. He's a big fan of the Hydra Lurker and tends to do very well with it. So, all right, looking for a cancel on the 4th. Dude, yeah, that's a great trade for Hero Marine. He doesn't care about getting surrounded. There's no queens here. Oh my god. Dude, this is, I mean, it's a very, very quick 4th. So I don't think losing it's the end of the world, I guess, but just good pickoffs here for Hero Marine. Anytime he gets damage like this, it gets some momentum going, and he's going to rotate around with a drop into the main base. This is beautiful play. Beautiful, beautiful play there. Ooh. Doesn't quite get the queen and almost loses the medevac. Good pullback by Reynor. Hellions do pull back. Raven almost goes down. Okay, these trades starting to go in Reynor's favor, and I talked about how people aren't going macro hatch as Zerg. So this is the modern way of playing Ling Bane, is you take a 4th and a 5th at the same time. It serves as a macro hatchery, but it means if you lose a hatchery on one side, you can always pull your drones to the other side. So it gives you a little bit of redundancy in case things go a bit awry. And I mean, yet another Overlord goes down. 3 Overlords, 9 Zerglings, a drone, some creep tumors. Hero Marine lands his 3rd base behind this. He does have stim finished. He unfortunately only started weapons. He didn't start armor on his engineering base. Ooh, so even though he's got 5 barracks on the way, he does start shields. And he's actually going straight up to 8 barracks. But he's forgotten his armor, and that's a real bummer. Because if you're doing this sort of style, you want to have 1-1 that you're pushing off of really hard. It's going to be like a non-stop stream of bio across this map. Unfortunately for him, Reynor's creep is out of control. And that's a big problem. I love that he sent 1 Raven home to get repaired. That's awesome. There's Marines now coming across. But look at the creep spread from Reynor, who's just massing Ling Bane. He's on 5 gases, is Reynor, and he's just making vast amounts of Zergling Baneling. Now, an armory is on the way, which tells us he wants to start 2-2, but he's not going to realize that he doesn't have that +1 armor until he goes to start 2-2. And that's a real bummer. A massive Zergling run by preparing itself. This could be a game ender. Those Marines, I don't think they're quite solid just yet. And he goes for it, and he's going to get in. Oh, this is a problem. This is a big problem. Auto turret spam in the back of the Zerg base at the same time, but Hero Marine's natural's under assault. He's going to jump on the queens, but look at that. Oh, Hero Marine's production is going to get ransacked. None of the Widow Mines burrowed. He's stimming his whole army back. He's got to run all of his SCVs. A quick mineral walk, so he doesn't lose too many SCVs. And he does go in for another round of auto turrets, which at least wastes some mining time. Does kill a few workers. Remember, those auto turrets are going to be able to do that all game long. The problem is now that that 3rd base is a little exposed. He's already lost mining on his natural. He hasn't fully cleaned that up just yet. Lings do get evicted from the 3rd base. The natural finally defended. But check this out. 2-2 has started behind this. Oh, auto turret's trying to keep Reynor busy. Oh my god, a wild attack from Reynor trying to crash in on this 3rd base. A crazy attack, but he just surrounded enough of those Marines that he evicts the 3rd base. He says, get the hell out of here, SCVs. They all go running, looking for a new home. 13 SCVs go down, and in one fell swoop, Reynor has turned this series around. What a great giant Ling run by from Reynor. And looks like auto turret's going down to try to hang on here. The Zergling's gonna pull back for now. But 2-2, almost finished. Remember, Terran's only on +1. Hero Marine is just way too behind, and he knows it. He has to tap on out. Series is tied up. We got a good one on our hands. All right. The series is tied up, and it's time for the next map. Over here on the right-hand side, representing Mouse Esports, it's Hero Marine. And in the bottom left, representing Clash, it's Reynor. And this map Hero Marine was saying during the veto process on his stream that he thinks Reynor really likes this map. So he was like, maybe I should veto that map just because Reynor likes it. So I get the feeling that Hero Marine likes this map normally, but Reynor kind of defies the normal Zerg expectation and actually excels on it. And because of that, Hero Marine is a little iffy about this map. Now, I think this is a great map because there's so much space down these edge lanes for Zerglings to get around the edges of the map, and it's hard to see them coming. They can kind of sneak around the backside, and it's a rather interesting kind of high ground, low ground dynamic through the middle. You've got tall grass, you've got these little mini cliffs that kind of block vision. You got little high ground pillars where your mutas and things can dance over. It can lead to some very interesting matchups, and of course, in that last game, Hero Marine was going for the 8 barracks push. It's kind of a non-stop stream of bio. He wanted to push through with that. He wanted to see what he could do, but it just wasn't enough in the end. You know, the big run by got him at the same time as he was poking in the front. He took a bit too long to realize what was happening. And Reynor, I mean, such a crazy guy. Was it like 50 Zerglings or something? It was a huge Zergling run by. And he went for it very early in that game. Oh my god, I finally figured out how to move that ESL logo. Hi-oh! It actually was locked. My bad. Alright, alright, alright. Alright, alright, alright. Once again, Marine first. So, something I've been thinking about, because Beyond would often go Marine into Reactor and not SCV Scout. Gabe actually scouted just to see that there was an expansion. I was talking about this with Beyond, how because he almost never scouts and very rarely goes Reaper, that you could actually bring back one base Ravager. Like the most basic all-in, 12 pool, gas, take another gas, get a Roach Warren, don't even build a Queen, and just rally Ravagers and go kill him. Because with this sort of opening, you're not even going to see something like that coming, and 3 Ravagers would arrive at about 3 minutes 15, and all you'd have is 3 Marines and a Hellion. And I guess you could argue that you could still defend with this build if you pull your SCVs, and because you got such an early reactor, maybe you could survive with SCVs pulling to the ramp and stuff. But if there's an Overlord spotting the high ground, I feel like you're going to struggle super hard. That being said, Gabe playing a bit safe, scouted that there was an expansion, and this time around, I like that Reynor's making an adjustment. He kept building 4 Zerglings in both of the previous games and going across the map with them. Now, this time he's not doing that. That's an accident. He's sending a drone and a Queen. What? No, he's doing a hatch cancel. He wants to get a head start on his creep, but look at that. It gets spotted by Hero Marine. So what he's doing is a hatch cancel. He's going to put a little bit of creep down. That costs him 75 minerals, and it gives him a head start on his creep spread. Reynor with the big brain creep advantage. Oh, what if Hero Marine finds it, though? Dude, if Hero Marine found that, that would be like getting 75 mineral damage. That would have been so sick. But look at this move. It pays off. And that's going to allow him to jump his creep forward through the middle of the map so damned early and get it out front. And Gabe sees this and is like, oh, you piece of shit. I wonder if he saves energy and tries to get an early scan. He gets that next creep tumor further back. I would drop a scan just to block my opponent's plan if I was Hero Marine. I'd be like, screw you, dude. Oh, look at that. He's got a Marine drop. He's got a quick armory. It's a Hellbat timing. And Reynor's been spending money on fancy creep spread. He's been setting up for the next stage. There's no Baneling Nest. There's no Spine Crawler. He is pulling all of his Queens to the front, but he's only got 4 so far. A 5th one pops out in that main base. He needs every single Queen at the front. He's got a lot of Zerglings, 10 around, 8 more on the way, but they're not good against Hellbats that are clumped up. 5 Hellbats here and 4 Marines. Already 1 Overlord going down. The Zerglings are going to look for the wraparound on the Marines. If they can catch the Marines away from the Hellbats, then that'll be juicy. But notice the Hellbats move back to protect them. And, ooh, 1 Hellbat does fall. The Queen's actually getting a lot of damage. Nice hot pickup on the medevac. The medevac pulls back there. That 1 Queen on the rear, though, it's basically living up to in the rear with the gear. A few Queens are going to go down. But Reynor, fantastic micro. And that Hero Queen on the back, taking down so much. Oh, he wants to get it. Okay, he does get 1 more Queen. At the end of that, though, a great defense by Reynor. Loses a few hundred minerals more, but this was an expensive push for Hero Marine. And remember, that creep on the left. As soon as he held it, he spread the creep on the left-hand side. So Reynor's multitasking, you know, second to none. One of the best players in a 100 drone game. That's not a situation Hero Marine wants to really get into. He wants to keep this down in the mid-game, in the early game, and get some damage done. But look at that. 3rd command center super late off this opening. He's trying to follow up with Cloak Banshees, but they're so damned slow. The 2nd Banshee is on the way as well. We'll see how it goes. Hello, Dot. Did Twitch crash? Dot says. I don't think so. Why? Can you not see my stream? Maybe it did? Says I've been live the whole time. Guys in chat, let me know if you've had an uninterrupted experience. Dot just walked into my room with a confused look on her face saying, did Twitch crash? So I don't know. Let us know. 1-1 upgrades are here. Reynor there with a 4th hatchery as well. Hellions poke in. Damage that queen. And Banshee's going to move down the left side of the map. So in this scenario, you need to find more damage as Hero Marine, or your next big push needs to really slow down Reynor. Because Reynor's droning right up to his 4 bases. So Reynor's once again playing a low gas style. Notice he's only on 2 gas geysers right now, and he's already droning that 4th mineral line. So Reynor, he's going to take a few more gases now to get like Baneling speed and stuff. But I don't think he's going to play mutas. I think he's going to go super heavy on the Ling Bane and try to defend that way. Now, these 2 Banshees come in the main base. I don't think Reynor's realized it because he's distracted, trying to surround the Hellions. Thankfully, Hero Marine keeps those alive for now. But look at that Banshee slide in the back. Good drone maneuvering from Reynor. Does lose 1 drone, 2 drones. Almost loses his queen. 3rd drone. 4th drone. Just got to keep those drones away from that dude. He needs to send an extra queen. 2 more queens are coming up, but no creep connecting it. Does going to make that a little bit harder. Queen goes down, and they're going to rotate down to that 4th base. But the Overseer's not quite ready. But I think they'll go down if they hang around much longer. So he's going to pull back up. Try and float between the bases. Overseer's coming for him. I think this is a one-way trip at this point. These Banshees just need to pick off as much as they can before they go down. He's trying to move out Marines, a tank, as well as Hellions there. Oh, he's going to go hide the Banshees. Hide him in the very back, in the very back. Ah, no, he should have gone to the corner and waited. If he could bring those in a bit later, it would have been great. Nonetheless, he's setting up for his next push. Reynor's being way too greedy. 85 drones. Reynor over-droned here. He's actually being way too greedy. Reynor so caught off by those Banshees that he's been really greedy during it. He lost track of where his workers was. Reynor was ahead in this early game. And now where are his Banelings? They simply do not exist. And I think that 4th hatch is going to go down. His 5th hatch is on the other side of this army. This could be a double snipe for Hero Marine. The Zerglings are coming forward, but that should be the dead 4th. You've got to confirm the kill on that 4th base. And he does do so. I think pull back now is Hero Marine. Looks like he wants to set up the fight correctly and just keep his Marines alive. Ooh, the tank damage actually hurts his own Marines a fair bit. Looks like the Banshee did go down on the left-hand side as well, but got a few more worker kills. Now, remember, Reynor has a crazy worker count, but he can't use them. He's only got 3 hatcheries right now. The fact that this survived is definitely a bummer for Hero Marine. But Hero Marine's going to reinforce. He's got another push coming across. He's got 3 more barracks on the way. His 2-2 is on the way. So it's 1-1 versus 1-1. Faster +2 carapace for Reynor, but he didn't have the money to start +2 melee. Hero Marine there cleans up that creep, but a big Ling run by. It is, of course, Reynor's specialty. The 5th base gets cancelled, but a few SCVs going down on that expansion as well. Marines coming forward. Mules dropping in the middle of it. That's a very aggressive move, but the Marines in a corner. Oh, God, they trade so well. On the other side, it looks like a very conservative tank siege. The Marines have denied a base. And Reynor's 4th is not quite ready, dude. He's a 3-base Zerg who's got a crazy worker count. If he can drag this out for a few minutes, those workers will be able to pay for themselves. But right now, they aren't much use. Oh my God, Hero Marine actually guns down a lot of Banelings. A good trade. Ling Bane comes into his 3rd, though, and that might be the run-by that does it for Reynor. That is a huge amount of damage. I don't know how he managed to spare these units in the midst of this, but he's actually just killed 18 workers. He's going to kill 19 before giving up control of that area. And this forces Hero Marine to just keep pushing. He's got to keep attacking. Hero Marine has a big army advantage right now. He's up about 25 army supply, but Reynor has a bigger income at this moment. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing Hero Marine go drop in the main base with some of these Marines, or if he can slide a drop down the right-hand side. Right now, those Marines looking very wounded. The medevacs are low on juice. He's only got 5 medevacs right now. He really needs to get more of them. If he could get a tank a little bit further up, that would be great as well. Reynor wants to sandwich this army, and he's going to do it. I like the way Hero Marine actually pulls the tank back. No, he doesn't go for the sandwich. He goes to the counterattack. Reynor forced to expand to both bases in the bottom right-hand side of this map. And the Marine tank, unfortunately, is going to leave this base just as Reynor comes in, I believe. Ooh, very fancy maneuvers. There's a few more Marines and tanks coming out. But, oh, this is about to get dicey. Ling Bane comes in. The SCV spready is there, but he's going to lose a lot of SCVs again. On the front, he loses a couple of Marines as well. The Banelings are going to find even more SCVs. Oh, man. Hero Marine is getting forced into an all-in. It felt like Reynor was the one who was going to be forced to all-in, but his counterattacks have found the damage. That crazy worker count, yeah, he's bled out some of them, but 74 versus 46 is more than enough, and as he has that base on the right mining, if he can keep this base up as well, that's just an unstoppable macro advantage. The Marines are too low. Gabe needs to pull back, and indeed he does. Those Queens going off creep, they do take quite a few tank shots. That's a lot more Marines coming forward, and Hero Marine... Dude, he's going too deep, though. There's too many Banelings there. He's got to be careful. That tank positioning, though, these tanks on the left need to move forward. If he can move these tanks forward here as well, he's going to have a crazy position. Reynor's going to have to counterattack one more time. Another 4 SCVs went down, apparently. But look at that. He does lose this hatchery. Reynor, though, 18 workers mining from that base, 11 from that base. That means he's almost got 5 bases mining, about 4.5 mineral lines. And his push on the front slowing down for Hero Marine. Those Queens have done such a good job of slowing it down. And, oh, he gets the tank. The medevac not able to save that in time. Oh, this is such a damn close game. This could be the game which effectively decides the series, as it is going to lead to a 2-1 advantage. Oh, the Queens. Look at that. The tanks are moving forward, though. The Ling run by comes in. The depot's lower. They say, come into my house. No worries, buddy. The Marines coming forward. I think Gabe may have done this. He's on 2-2 versus 1-2. He's found the money to start 3-3 behind this. And as much as his economy is kind of bleeding out and his Banelings are still coming in, he is handling it and getting set up on the front at the same time. The fact that his tanks are getting so far forward, yes, he's losing a few Marines here or there, but a lot of Ling Banes going down as well. Now, those Marines just need to keep baiting the Lings, the Banes, the Queens into the tank fire, and that's where they'll do well. And look at that. He's in between the rally points. It's very hard to do run-bys now at this stage. Ooh, he's going to actually break out. There's a lot more Marines on the left, but look at those Marines dropping, trying to drag him away. One tank does stand strong there, but he kills almost all of them. What do we got? 2 tanks on the map, 67 Marines. There's not many Banelings. The Marines are going to try to push in. Hero Marine realizes the Baneling count's low. He's going to try and force the issue on creep. A dangerous maneuver, but it could end up winning the game. He's going to push deep onto creep. Those Banelings, Reynor needs them so desperately, but now there's no Zergling support for them. Is the spread good enough? Hero Marine, a lovely spready. And he shows he's indeed flexible enough to avoid those Banelings and take out Reynor in map 3. That is a 2-1 advantage. Juicy Lucy. GG, well played. All right. He's got a 2-1 lead. And I mean, there's a reason he is an absolute monster in these weekly comps. He just comes out so solid, so relaxed, streaming for his audience. And I feel like it takes the pressure off him because he's playing such good StarCraft right now. He's not letting his opponent's wild backstabs get to him. It's Mouse Hero Marine. A great start with a fantastic early defense of the Hellbats in that previous game, but the Banshees totally catching him off guard, doing way too much damage and getting way too greedy. The story of this series, I've talked about it as his strength at sometimes making comebacks, but I feel like in that last game, he gave away an advantage, going 85 drones without any Banelings. I was criticizing him for going 78, 80 drones in game 1, doing that. But to go 80 drones, 85 actually, that's crazy. That was a silly maneuver, and I want to be very critical of that. I think Reynor messed up really badly. I think those Banshees threw his focus off, and he made a bad decision there, maybe lost track, and actually built an extra 10 workers on what he intended. But he's got to fix it up. Down here in the bottom right, it's Clash's Reynor. He's down to his last life. It's Romanticide, which apparently Big Gabe does pronounce this map's name as Romantic-eyed, apparently. Romantic-eyed, which is one of the greatest things ever. People keep telling him he's wrong in his chat, and he says, no, it is clearly the word romantic, and there is just eyed on the end of it, therefore it should be pronounced this way. But yeah, he's not being convinced, and because he's Big Gabe, no one can literally ever tell if he's being sarcastic or not. We just have to make an educated guess, and I'm gonna assume nah. All right, guys, we got the SCV scout coming in once again, and this time a Reaper opening for Hero Marine. So going back to the Reaper, interesting to see how that goes, and we'll see exactly what the hell is going on. Marine there, factory as well. After that, so a rather standard opening, and oh, it's going to be the front hatch for Reynor, the EU Zerg maneuver. going for the super exposed frontal hatch, just trying to get a head start on his creep spread, because normally it's not really a contest for your third base, it's more for your fourth base. But I do feel if the Terran builds a lot of Hellions and pokes in from the edges, they can do really well. So I actually love the Reaper opening, because I think Reaper into Hellions, the Reaper works really well. And the thing is, you've got an angle here into that mineral line, here into that mineral line, here, and you've got the far left as avenues. So I feel like with an early queen defense on this map, it's so hard to cover this ground. And that's why, personally, if I was going to take this front third, I almost feel like I'd want to be doing a roach push or something like that off it. It gives me a forward rally point. It's going to shove any Hellions back with a real mobile defense. But in terms of defending just standard Hellion pokes, I think it can be a little bit difficult. And look at that. Quick third command center and starport both going down off one gas. So a nice economic build here. He didn't actually go quick Hellions. He delayed his Hellions a little bit to make sure he could get that command center down super duper fast. But he's going to go Banshees, I believe, as well. I mean, they did so well in the last game. Why not give it a go again? And seeing that third gas, well, that's actually not a third gas. It's a second gas. And I wonder if that alone kind of tells Reynor what's going on. Because I think Hero Marine was expecting an Overlord to poke in from up here, so he wanted to hide the gas, but Reynor gets that information. And he's got a Creep Tumor there, and already a Creep Tumor here to start working north. Wants to get it across those bridges and out front in this area. Nothing else really going on here for Reynor, just second gas goes down, droning, non-stop queens. Overlord comes into the main, as well as a Zergling. He sees a Tech Lab starport building, and he can assume it is once again a Raven opening. Hero Marine's been favoring that in this series. Only the last game, one of the ones where he didn't go for it. Of course, the Raven, it's a very kind of slow, efficient unit over time. And against the double Evo build, I think it's quite good if they can come around. There's so much dead space on the back of these bases. There's multiple angles. If you have your Ravens here, you could hit that mineral line, or you could fly in here and hit that mineral line, or you could quickly float around and drop them down here, or even behind that base. So as long as your opponent doesn't have a Spire, there's many angles you can hit with those, and Spire's not going to be going down for a long time, because all Reynor's money is going into quick upgrades. He's going to have an upgrade advantage in this game. Hellions and Raven at the front, looking for some pickoffs. They should be able to nip off the tip here. Snip, snip, does take the Creep Tumor away. 3 barracks are up, double engineering bay going down, so it's 3 barracks first. Double engineering bay not quite as fast. So Hero Marine's going to be looking more for the stim medevac pressure to be on time, and he's totally okay with being a little bit behind in the upgrades. But fast fourth commands, hatchery, sorry, as well. And I'd like to see that 5th up here on the right. Creep spreading in every direction, so damned fast. The rate of growth for Reynor, it really is a fearsome sight. I tell you, as a Terran player, it's upsetting to be playing against someone who's this good at just spreading creep and moving forward their progress on the map. I actually think he could have got an extra tumor or two. Of course, he doesn't know where the queens are, so being a bit more conservative is Big Gabe. And notice the way Reynor's splitting his queens. Says, you know what, you're going to rotate to here. Queens defend there while these two go down there, and he can, of course, replace those creep tumors in the near future. But Hellions and Raven come straight back in. Auto turret is actually going to try and take out an Overlord. That Overlord did end up going down. Hellions come in, and these queens are in trouble. That's 8 Hellions, dude. 2 queens, no match for that. The other ones do come up to back it up, but a few creep tumors go down as well. That auto turret, unfortunately, not quite able to take out that Overlord, so not the most efficient auto turret with that one. Oh my god, a giant Ling backstab comes in, runs into the third. They get 5 SCVs. The Marines do take them out. That was 23 Zerglings, though, that went down. So I think an okay trade for Hero Marine, whose 1-1 upgrades are well underway. He just needs to remember to start his armory on time, and I'm very curious to see if he goes for the extra barracks again. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barracks. Will we see barracks 6, 7, and 8? Double medevacs down here to join up with this, but there's not many units at home. Uh-oh. That's a big Ling run by. Hero Marine's got to group these units up. He's pushing in the front. His SCV's a little slow to respond. He's already lost 8 of them. Oh, that's really bad. He's losing so many SCVs. And this was just perfectly timed from Reynor. He obliterates the SCVs, takes out the SCVs. 1-1 versus 0-0. A well-timed Ling run by here for Reynor. And that's a game-winning Ling run by. Hero Marine just a little bit too focused on getting his own push going. And this is just so well played by Hero Marine. I'm actually going to point out what I think Hero Marine needs to do to fix this. And that is, after defending Ling run buys, he really needs to put Marine spotters out on this map. He needs to put them out. Because he doesn't do that, he doesn't get early warning, and Reynor is so pristine at timing these attacks to hit just when he's attacking. So Hero Marine's staring at the front, setting up a push, stimming, spreading, and then he's not ready at home. Series is tied up. Let's go into game 5. All right. It all comes down to this map right here. It's Death Aura. Hero Marine did point out in the veto process that his opponent did not want to play it. But everything comes down to this moment. This is a sick game 5 moment. And I really feel like Hero Marine has got to do a little bit of a better job of just sending a few more Marine spotters out, because Reynor's so heavy on these Zerg Ling Run buys, and it's hard to do that. So normally the way you deal with these big Ling Run buys, right, is you're just attacking the Zerg so much, keeping so much pressure, it's hard for the Zerg to find the right moment to go in. And your rally, because you're building so many units, they come in, hey, you've got 10 Marines and a choke point, you pull your SCVs away from your third, your Marines hold the choke point, you're all fine. In that last game, I think Hero Marine just needed to stay on his natural wall, pull all the SCVs back. If you hold position, even if you've just got 6 or 7 Marines, if they're kind of holding a position really tight, then it actually works out very, very nicely, because they can hold that position firm and they can actually just hold the wall. The Zerglings can't get in. Only a few Lings can fight at a time. Another 5 Marines pop out. Another 5 Marines pop out. And you clean them all up. But you've got to deal with it. You've got to deal with it. And Reynor, I mean, we've seen him, a mixture of amazing creep, exceptional greed, exceptional Ling counter attacks. It's hard to deal with. He's a scary beast. What I think Reynor's superpower is he can take gambles in his playstyle and just keep working them and work to minimize the gamble. There's players like Serral who, when a gamble doesn't work, you can tell they're kind of frustrated. They're like, I should have just played safe and just been better than you. Like, you know, Serral always wants to be 20% better than you and just beat you through his raw, overpowering skill, speed, precision. Reynor's got that speed and precision, but he mixes in a more dynamic style of risk-taking. He's comfortable at the poker table, I guess is how you'd put it. You know, he won't just play the odds every time. He'll play his opponent. He'll take a risk here or there. And because of that, it makes him a more difficult problem to solve than a lot of other players. Hero Marine's done a good job of mixing things up in his openings. He's gone to the Reaper once again here. Game 4 and Game 5 going for the Reaper after a lot of Marine reactor openings. And I don't know. I was really loving the Marine first reactor opening myself. I kind of wish he stuck with it. I'm surprised he didn't dive behind the mineral line there. Maybe look for a drone pick off. He knew he had about 10 seconds till that Queen popped out, but doesn't want to risk losing the Reaper. He knows that Reynor's very good at moving those Lings around to cut off the retreat. Oh, very ambitious creep tumor. Ooh, I guess he knew the Reaper was wounded, and Hero Marine being very conservative. Doesn't want to lose it. Damages the tumor, unable to take it out. Third Queen starts up straight away. Ling speed is on the way. Of course, that third hatch going down before Ling speed. So this is the Ling speed that finishes a bit closer to 4 minutes. Those EU Zergs wanting the third Queen, wanting the third hatchery as quickly as possible, saying, you know what, Ling speed, we don't really need it done that early, especially in this meta where Terrans are often getting the third command center before building Hellions. And what's so great about this build, by the way, is the way we still have reasonable Hellion timing, right? Yeah, they're a few seconds later than they could be, but they come out a bit earlier. Oh, that's not a starport, that's a second barracks. Oh my, all right. We're going to see a Hellion 2-on-1 sort of build here. A few Hellions and that sort of thing. We'll see a starport go down at some point. Probably swap with the factory. So I think it's just 2 Hellions, and we'll see starport reactor. This will go on that reactor. Stim starts up. So the way this works is it's a lot like the double medevac stim marine drop that hits at about 5 minutes, except you're adding an extra detail, and that is that third command center. So it's not like a classic 2-on-1 where it's double marine drop and your third is massively delayed. It's my double marine drop's a little slower, but I have a quick third. I have an insanely economic build. Excuse me. And if I get much momentum with the double drop and slow you down from droning up, I mean, my third is so quick, I can just overwhelm you. Zergling spread across these bases. Just 2 Aliens and the Reapers looking for active tumors, making sure this is slowed down. And let's look at Reynor scouting. He really doesn't know what's going on. He sees 2 gases on the natural, doesn't tell him too much just yet. He's going to try to get in along this edge and see something. And if I were Hero Marine, I'd just send 2 Marines to deal with that. I'd pull everything else back. Sends 3. He goes for 3 Marines. I guess that doesn't give too much away, does it? Oh, the Zergling runs in though there. It does see a big Marine count. Let's go to Reynor's camera, see how he reacts. Reynor's got double Evo lair. He's droning. He's moving drones out. He's got creep everywhere. Starts a 4th base. You could see there he selected his Evo chambers, but he doesn't quite have the gas. So he's just waiting a moment. Drops a Baneling Nest. He starts Carapace for now. He's delaying his melee. You can see here spreading creep. And he's building lots of drones though. And it's already past 5 minutes. He's really got to make sure he has enough units ready to deal with this. The double drop is coming across the map now. It's going to be hitting him at not too late a time. And I think the Hellions are just staying at home at the 3rd to defend any Ling run bys. Good choice. Reaper goes in, sees a few Zerglings, does see that the 4th base is there. If there was no 4th base there, Hero Marine may have changed angles, or he may have just gone into the main base. For now, though, the Queen's coming over, the Zerglings there. It's 59 drones to 52. Very close economies. A few Overlords, going to be some early pickoffs here for Hero Marine. Gets one, and he sees the Queens, and he says, you know what? I'll chill, buddy. It's fine. I'm going to back off for now. Maybe threaten the main base. Remember that Hero Marine's economy is soaring. He hits a supply block here, but notice that he's producing the whole time. So that's actually what we call a pro gamer supply block. It's where just as your units actually get stopped from being built, your depot finishes. Perfectly timed depots, flawless macro. The double drop is only doing light harassment. All it's really doing is forcing Reynor to keep massing Lingbane and keeping him occupied. No 5th base this time around. It's only now trying to go down for Reynor. And that double drop continuing to look around. The big Ling run by is set up, but there's 2 Hellbats. Unfortunately, they're in the open. If those Hellbats were in the mineral line, I think they'd be untouchable. But as it is, I think they're maybe not quite as useful. A few more Hellions and Hellbats actually came out. Widowmine's on the way. And the barracks count is starting to grow. Going up to 5 barracks here is Hero Marine. So that production, a bit slower to build up in this sort of build order in terms of barracks, but already 2 factories going and Widowmine drop starting. So Hero Marine's going to go into a much bigger game here on Death Aura. I think he wants to use the architecture of the map in a slower game. Unfortunately, loses a medevac there. It's a bit of a bummer. That means those Marines can't all get picked up to safety. But he's going to try and start sneaking Widowmine drops in. He's probably going to do those pretty continuously. Yeah, Widowmine drop on the left as well. So he's going to go Widowmine drop, Widowmine drop, Widowmine drop, fast 4th command center. And this is a very cool style of play. Because you have the quick double factory, you have so many Widowmines to drop. You're just going non-stop multi-prong harassment. And behind it, you're going to take a fast 4th, a fast 5th. And you're looking to just grow huge. Not very good Widowmine shots in that one. No big hits there. A few Marines do get picked off, but it's the problems that he's creating right now. He's going to drop this base. He's got a double drop on the left-hand side, scanning creep. Pulls Reynor's units out of position, and guess what? Widowmine drop coming in. That's the big one. He was trying to distract elsewhere, so Reynor wasn't looking. Quick reaction by Reynor, but he does lose 11 workers. Nicely done there. Overseer's not ready. He's got to morph those. Drop on the right-hand side. Yes, it gets cleaned up, but that's for a whole bunch of Banelings. That's a totally fine cleanup. Oh, he's got almost no Marines at home. He's got almost no Marines at home. The Hellbats, though, managed to scare him off. I actually think Reynor could have done a lot of damage there, but he's so busy elsewhere. And you know what? Those Widowmines never got cleaned up. This double drop distracts. Everything is firing. All cylinders. A Widowmine got a big shot off in the main, and Hero Marine coming in from all sides. Reynor was not expecting Hero Marine to come in like this. 31 drones have gone down in the last minute of this game. Amazingly, Reynor is still at 71 workers. He is re-droning so hard. He's identified the situation he's in, that he's building drones as quickly as they're dying. This is crazy play from both sides. Those Widowmines not getting much damage, but you know what? He's got another 2 coming in, and he's keeping him off these mineral lines. These are expendable harassment maneuvers. They're doing good damage. They are harassing like mad. Oh my god, another 7 workers go down. That Widowmine with 10 kills. The drops, though, starting to get cleaned up, and Reynor, look at this. Look at the way this man takes a punch. This young Italian stallion, dude, he is on 87 workers. That comes at a cost, though. If you're re-droning constantly like that, it means you're not cleaning up the Widowmines, right? He's actually still taking repeated shots. Another shot's going to land on this base, and that could get a big money shot. And the thing is his army big enough? His lurkers aren't quite ready. His hive's not quite ready. Only 4 drones, unfortunately, did not get target fired. But oh, look at that. Widowmine's dropping behind the mineral line with the Lings and Banes can't get to them. A big hit on some of those Banes. Man, even more units going down. The units lost tab looking great for Hero Marine. Finally, this Hero Widowmine is going to go down, but Hero Marine's there. He's got a Widowmine drop in the main. He's got a double drop on the right. A Hellbat Marine mine push here. This is a problem for Reynor to deal with. It's a complicated push, but look at that. Widow Mine drop in the main. He's stimming Marines in on the right-hand side. They find the Queen and all the drones. The Widow Mine's in the main. Goodbye, mineral line. Oh, unfortunately, one does fire on the extractor. The army on the left gets cleared up by Reynor, but look at that. Overlords and a hatchery go down on the right-hand side. Reynor's back to 4 bases. He's losing drones left, right, and center. Hero Marine, he's dropping mules on that 4th like crazy. He's adding more and more barracks. He's got armies coming out, just non-bloody stop in this game. And this is insane, dude. Just look at the unit count. There's 70 Zerglings out still for Reynor, but I worry that he is taking trades that are too bad. I think Hero Marine can push him over now. If Hero Marine just keeps coming in, pushing both sides of the map at the same time, I think he could do massive damage. That Widow medevac is empty in the back of Reynor's base, so that's not a threat. It's just a 2-prong push, but he's going to queue up another Widow Mine drop into the main. While coming in on this base, he accidentally queued up 2 Reapers in the midst of this crazy chaos. The Lurkers are out, though. And that's what he needed to slow down the frontal push. So Hero Marine's going to move through the middle, clearing up the creep, still looking for new angles. Widow Mine drop comes in from the left-hand side, drops 3. Widow Mines make it 4. Doesn't really get any big hits, though. Double drop comes in on the back of the 3rd base. He's going to see what he can find. He's going to pick off a Queen, find a little bit of damage, but I think his army over here is a bit overextended. Oh, he saves a few of those Marines. Meanwhile, those units in the back, 1 medevac goes down. And I think this last couple of trades is where things turned around, because at this point, there's enough Ling Bane to cover the mobile units, and the Lurkers were able to stop the frontal push. Once you have Lurkers blocking the frontal push, Reynor's attention gets freed up. The way he burrowed those Lurkers on that side, it meant that Hero Marine suddenly wasn't able to distract him, whereas before that, it required a lot of micro to deal with the frontal pushes. So now Reynor recovers. Unfortunately, he still cannot get a 5th up. Widow Mines are doing awesome. Are we sure this is Gabe and not Maru, says Naruto. I could not agree more. He is all over the place. But remember, things turned around. Those last couple of trades, way better for Reynor. He's closed the units lost gap. And where are the siege units that can actually beat the Lurkers in a frontal fight, that can push through them? Well, there's double factory tank production, but that's it. Or triple factory, in fact. Triple factory tank is not bad. Is it enough? I don't know if this is enough. We've got Biomine pushing in on the left-hand side. They're going to come in. Lings coming forward. A few Lurkers there. He's not really finding the big damage right now, is Big Gabe. I think he's got a lot of commands on this, so he's got a giant economy. It's just, can he get up to a high enough tier army to push through? I feel like it's ghost time. With how much he's slowed this game down, I don't know if Gabe's going to be able to push with just these basic units. Another Widow Mine drop comes through. 13 workers once again. But this Lurker push on the left looking kind of scary. And there's only 3 siege tanks out right now. He's trying to go triple starport and fusion core, so it's going to be range libs, which I actually really like. I think that's a good choice. Triple drop to the main base. I think that's a good idea. Try to open up a new front here. Always a good choice. Let's take out 1 Lurker with that single siege tank. A few more tanks behind it. And look at that, though. 2-prong pushes. There's not many tanks out. I pointed this out, and I think Reynor might actually be able to seal the deal. There's just not many units guarding the production right now. Hero Marine's maxed out. His triple drop's going to go in the Zerg base, but the problem is the Lurkers. Can he deal with these Lurkers? The Lings get on top of his tanks. Oh no, that's a big problem on the other side of the map. A lot of the Zerg tech is probably going to be going down, but the production, oh no, his Biostim's back into that Lurkers. It goes down. The rally is struggling to deal with this. On the other side of the map, Ling Bane cleans it up. The Ling Bane comes home. The Lurkers push in, and look at that, sieging on top of the tank immediately. They're getting into multiple mineral lines. 15 workers died on the Zerg side, but the Zerg base is all calm, while the Terran base is all chaos. Marauders finally clean up the natural, but he's already lost 13 SCVs. He's got to defend, but he's going to lose all those SCVs. Every single one of those SCVs goes down. 23 total, and this took so long to clean up, and because of that, Reynor able to push in on the left-hand side, and that is going to be that. If he can take out that 5th base, I think Hero Marine is dead in this game. Reynor's economy is so big. He weathered the storm, and Hero Marine, he was doing so well, but it was like the 5th wave of harassment just was an overextension. He didn't get into the siege units quick enough. He should have known that Reynor was heading in that direction, but it felt like he didn't react. He didn't go tanks until he saw Lurkers on the map. He wasn't thinking far enough ahead, and Reynor, I mean, holy crap, the number of drone losses he absorbed in this game, is just so many. A base does die in the top right, but even more command centers falling. And as I said, these tanks, there's just not enough of them. They're finally out, but the Vipers abducted a few of them at first. This bio drop does come in. Remember, guys, 89 drones died this game, but 49 SCVs in answer in one big swift blow. And Reynor just, doing so many different things at once. This Marine Marauder coming forward. The pure Zergling not able to do anything about it just yet, and that should be a dead hatchery. Transfuse unable to save that one. Does save a few of these units and pulls home. Lurkers out front the base for Reynor. I think he was kind of looking for an ambush there almost. Hydra Den rebuilds. Reynor realizing, wait, I've got my Lurker Den, but I can't actually build the Hydras to morph into them. Planetary on the right-hand side is up, so technically he's on 5 bases. I think, if Gabe can find a good trade, then maybe he can still technically get back in the game, but I mean, every big Lurker shot like that on his bio is disastrous, and I think the 3 factory tank and the 3 factory lib, I've seen it work before when you keep momentum, but he bled out a few too many units on the map, and Reynor's 2-prong counterattack was absolutely brutal. Hero Marine's going to try and dig deep. He's going to try and come back in this game. If he can set up a push, maybe. He's got a big tank line. He's going to lure those Zerglings and Lurkers forwards. Vipers looking for a parasitic bomb in the middle of the medevacs. Nicely done. Takes out 2 medevacs with that. Some abducts coming down as well. A few shots go down on the Lurkers, but the Lurkers do defend the base. One more Lurker does fall. 4 tanks and a small squad of bio. I don't think that's enough to crack through, especially not with those abducts coming down. The Lurkers here doing a great job. Does force them to pull back for now, but these siege tanks, their advance has been slowed, and the income just is not there for Hero Marine. He does not have anywhere near the 93 drones of Reynor, and this is the sort of game where Reynor is, honestly, I think the best player in the world when it comes to this style of Zerg versus Terran. Lurkers, Lings, Banes, Hydras, crazy amount of fighting going on all over the map. Reynor, you can tell, is in his element because the start of this was not good for Reynor, but by golly did he show experience in taking a punch, weathering the storm. That being said, Hero Marine actually manages to defend that Lurker push. Reynor may have to just give up this base. I'm surprised he's not harassing at all. He's just trying to use mass Lurker to pull these siege tanks in, to get energy back as often as he can. He needs a few Evo chambers or something to get some energy from. These tanks are coming forward. Hero Marine, if he gets a nice scan before these abducts are ready, that could work out. 1 tank gets abducted. Still a few tanks here, but they're not able to capitalize on this moment. This slight moment where there's no energy on the Vipers. The tanks aren't able to find a way in. He holds the base. His Lurkers are alive. His work account's still solid. And Hero Marine's still bleeding on the ground. He's trying to get back to his feet. He's building 4 Liberators now. I wonder if he goes for harassment or tries to use those in the army. There's not a lot of Hydras in the army right now. And the Hydras actually don't have upgrades. Can you guys believe that? These Hydras don't have movement speed or range. Wow! He's forgotten about the Hydra upgrades all game. I know he often skips them because he's more of a Lingbane Lurker guy, but that base does go down. Liberators are queued up for harassment, but goodbye SCVs. Every single one of those SCVs is going to go down. And I think that's the end of the game. Hero Marine's got a few tanks. He's got a few libs. There's nothing that shoots up here for Reynor. But he does so much damage so quickly. The Lings run in even deeper. The Marines and Marauders trying to defend. The Lurkers do get the heck out of dodge. He's going to push forward on the left-hand side. Tank seeing where those Lurkers are, starting to shell on them. But a quick withdrawal. Now, Liberators do start to come in. One sieging, unfortunately, misses most of the drone line. Lib sieges on that base as well. There's a couple of Hydras, but I think with abducts, could definitely take that out. Abducts them out of their siege mode. And there we go. Looks like those units are going to have to pull back, pick up, and Hero Marine here on his last legs. Reynor with a comeback in this series. What a sick game. And dude, I just once again want to hit on how awesome the multitasking and harassment was from Hero Marine, but also how well Reynor kept droning in the midst of that and dealt with engagements going on in 4 or 5 locations at once. It was truly a spectacular thing to witness. This Liberator does get 6 drones. It's starting to damage the income of Reynor, and that would matter if Hero Marine had a real economy of his own. But what's he got? 9 tanks, a decent Marine Marauder count, a couple of medevacs, a couple Liberators. This Liberator repositioning, it will go down there. Oh, we actually focus fired a Lurker there. Nice. right, he's moving down the right-hand side of the map. It's not over till it's over. It's not over until the big Gabe cries. And he is not going to go down without a fight. Marine drop in the main. Unfortunately, the Spore Crawler does take that one out. Reynor's actually losing a few of these bases now. This is a really cool push from Hero Marine. He does lose that Liberator, but that base is in trouble. I think it will go down. He's got a lot of transfuse. He's trying to hang on there. The Bio has to stay back. Look at this. He's going to save the hatch. Abducts come forward. Wow. If he can abduct the rest of those. Ooh, he does get one of the Vipers, though, with the Marines. Nice micro from Hero Marine. Finishes the hatchery off. Does knock Reynor back to 5 bases. Reynor's income is going to dip a fair bit here. I don't know, man. I don't know. Gabe's so good, he's almost making me believe. Another Viper for a tank trade, but the Lurkers kill a few Marines as well. And Lurker run by on the left. Okay, that's going to say goodbye to Big Gabe's economy and goodbye, good game. Woo. Oh my God, at the end of that, 200 or 199 workers go down. Oh my God, what a series. Reynor is your champion. Holy shit. What a game. Like, what the hell, dude? Look at all these units that died. Absolute insanity. I friggin' love it. GG, well played. What an absolute treat to cast. Hot damn.